like you say you came from Wits, people aren't gonna look at you crazy, you know? It's not like you came from Crash or anything like this. No, don't do that. You gotta take that out. Okay, no, I love my UJ people. UJ is an amazing place to be.
Well, welcome to the hood.
Hello there. Before we get into today's video, I would just like to take this moment to let you know that we're chasing 500 subscribers. So if you would please leave a sub, that would be great. Enjoy the vid. Peace. Now this one is about which one you should choose, which varsity would be best for you. Being that I have performed decently well at both institutions.
Ooh, wow. Chris Brown, dancer extraordinaire. Wow, whoa, whoa. Right?
I'm hoping that at least my voice could help you in your choice making. The first category is really for those of you who are aesthetic babes. Obviously, UCT is where you want to be. The scenery is amazing, environment, lots of trees, lots of mountains. Very just nice to be there, you know, walking on campus. And just the people there just look like they're full of life kind of thing. It is very much slower than it is at Wits in terms of like the pace of the lifestyle, but that's I think more a subject of the environment of UCT around the school itself, i.e. Cape Town. Everyone's just got nowhere to be, it looks like. Wits is very much fast paced. It's very much alive, it feels like, you know, it feels like people have somewhere to be. They're making beats on the way to class. Everybody's just focused, you know, it seems like. That covers environment. Let's move on. Now, a category some people will care a lot about, I know I care decently about, is fees. In my experience, UCT typically is more expensive course for course, but I know I paid quite a bit this year for tuition. Relative to what I paid last year, there was like a 30K difference. But again, this is very course specific also, so like it depends. Some courses are equally expensive at Wits, other courses are not so expensive at UCT. So look into the fee handbooks for both universities and compare them, and then take into account accommodation costs. At Wits, I was able to stay at home because obviously I live in Joburg.
Genius.
And then at UCT, I had to move to Res, so that added quite a chunk to the fees. Cape Town accommodation is relatively more expensive than anywhere else I find, so you're gonna pay quite a pretty penny to go to UCT. Those of you who are familiar with AODs, it's looking real.
But anyway, so bad. But anyway, I wanna next.
Right on, now we move on to quality of teaching. If you're somebody that needs to sit in class, that needs to ask questions, that needs to see the lectures, needs to engage with your peers or whatever, I think pound for pound, both universities are equally as good as each other. I'm definitely someone that needs to be in class and kind of things and embrace the environment, not so much for the content, because I usually cover contents on my own at home kind of thing, but more so for hearing what people are thinking, hearing how the lecturer is teaching it, because that kind of gives you clues as to how they're going to examine it kind of thing. So in that sense, I'd say the standard of teaching and the quality of teaching relatively consistent across both varsities, but they do have kind of different testing styles, not markedly different, like at least for the course I was doing, which was economics. It's not worlds apart, but it is like different areas of focus, but that's more content specific than it is the nature of the teaching style. So I wouldn't stress too much about that. If you are, let's say, choosing a varsity, they're both pretty good in terms of quality of teaching. Now we move on to something related again to the money bag, the economics of this stuff, cost of living as a student of UCT versus that of a student of Wits. I would obviously argue that being a student of Wits is a little bit cheaper, mainly because of the environment. Joburg is just typically cheaper than Cape Town. So on top of the premium for the fees, you're gonna have to say that a little bit of lifestyle premium coming in. There's ways to get around that if you just be frugal a bit and you shop at the right places and you plan out your spending well. You can survive. It's not like you're gonna die or anything like this. But I'd say generally it's a bit easier to manage your life at Wits. Maybe activities are kind of standardized across the board, but there's more to do, I think, in Cape Town, and they're not jarring fees, but like they add up if you do it enough kind of thing. But there are ways to get around it. There are activities that you can do for free. There are places you can shop for cheaper things that are still quality. So I'd say baseline, it's easier to move to Wits because of the Joburg area. But if you're smart about it, you can make it work in UCT in Cape Town. It's just going to take a little more thinking about your budget and things like that. Those 3 categories are typically what crosses my mind when I'm looking to choose, so I'm hoping those kind of colored in a little bit of the context that you might want to think about when choosing between UCT and Wits. But I'll give some final takes in terms of like a holistic view. Wits seems to me the best value for money because the standard of teaching is to me the same, if not better to some degree, and the tuition is a bit lower, so at least tuition to value ratio is a little bit higher than I think at UCT. I think at UCT you're paying for the name. Sure, you still get the same standard of teaching, the lecturers are just as good or maybe even better, field experts, whatever, but I really don't feel that, you know, it just feels like another teacher to me. It really depends on your learning style and how you kind of absorb information and what's important to you, but for me I think Wits is definitely the best value for money because it still comes with a bit of namesake. Like you say, you came from Wits, people aren't gonna look at you crazy, you know, it's not like you came from Crash or anything like this. Oh, don't do that. You gotta take that out. Okay, no, I love my UJ people. UJ is an amazing place to be.
Well, welcome to the hood.
So yeah, I would just say that UCT, you're paying for obviously the bigger brand and you're paying for the mountains and the views, I guess. But for now, that's everything I had to cover. I hope this was somewhat useful in making your decisions. I know this was quite a big decision for me to make last year when I was picking between like where to do my postgrad. So I'm hoping to some degree this helped you out. If it did, obviously please leave a like on the video. Please leave a comment. Just let me know what I can do to help you even more, or if there's anything else that you would like to see covered. And also please subscribe, trying to get to 500. With that said, peace everybody.